Hey there guys, if you couldn't tell from my previous videos, I really enjoy car manga. So after scouring the internet, I found some car manga that you guys need to read. Kadno Carrera. Upon the passing of her father, in his will, Reina Todoroki receives the keys to a rare Porsche Carrera 964S. That's also in hot pink. Meanwhile, her brothers receive a house and a boat. And Reina does not know what this thing even is. Well, she knows it's a car, but like, she didn't really know how cool this thing actually is. And also, she doesn't know how to drive a manual. The story follows her as she slowly becomes a car person by learning to appreciate the car that she has, expanding her knowledge on cars, and taking care of this truly amazing Porsche, and experiencing just how fun it is to drive a car like this, until she stalls it in the middle of the road. What I really enjoy about this manga is Asamiya Kia's real passion for Porsche and cars. Because throughout the manga you can see this like in the pages, and also the fact that he literally wrote a story about how ever since he was a child he loved Porsches, and then when eventually he became an adult through lots of hard work and dedication managed to buy his own Porsche. Hey there guys, before we continue the list, I just want to let you know that currently 93% of you are not subscribed to the channel. So please subscribe to the channel this year so we can finally reach 1,000 subscribers. And also, please drop in the comments your favourite car manga that I probably did not mention in this video. Anyways, on with the list. Devoting everything to my wonderful youth. Yuika Kagami is a 15-year-old schoolgirl that is in search of thrilling and exciting experiences. She ends up meeting with her school's game club and finds out that they have a racing setup, which looks something extremely similar to what someone would use to play a set of courses professionally. And she uses it to play an arcade racing game and picks the Nissan Skyline R34 GTR, which is obviously the best choice for racing games because the R34 is quite literally just the best car in the world and is the best car in literally every single racing game. But Yuika really wants to drive that car in particular because when she was young, her dad used to have one that he had named Ari. What I really like about this manga is how instead of focusing on regular car racing, it focuses on car gaming racing. Which is a weird take, but it's definitely different. Also, this manga referenced that one part in Fast and Furious 4 where Brian's up here in the R34 Skyline and there's another car down here. I think that was a very cool reference because not many manga really reference Western movies like Fast and Furious. They tend to reference other anime. What if your police car was essentially just Kit from Knight Rider? Well, that's the question that this manga tries to answer. Police officer Ricky has been transferred to a different department because he found the paperwork of being a police officer incredibly boring. And with his new assignment, he doesn't have to do any paperwork, which is a blessing. But instead, he has to deal with a police car that is actually an anime girl. This manga is essentially just complete madness. Well, not really all madness, but the idea of it is just madness. I honestly didn't know I actually wanted a story like this until I was actually reading it and laughing my fucking arse off because of how funny it is. It's definitely a very interesting take on typical buddy story, and also it's just incredibly fun to read because it's just so stupid. Because the police car is an Itasha, which is basically a car of anime girls in it. But it's not actually because the anime girl on it can talk and move around, and then when needed to be, the car will just transform into an anime girl and drop kick some guy on a motorbike. Why? Because it's incredibly funny. And to be honest, it does feel a bit like a parody of Knight Rider in certain elements of it. But I'm not too sure if it is. But if it is, this is the best parody of Knight Rider I've ever seen in my life. And now time for the final entry on this list. This one is pretty much just all about drifting. DRICAM. So the character Rin is somehow apparently a natural born drift master, but she doesn't want to do that and instead wants to become a normie, which is fucking disgusting. And upon finding out that she's gonna be late to college, she has to borrow her dad's car. I say borrow, more like her dad just gives her the keys to his 180SX, which is very heavily modified for drifting. And then she drives it up the mountain and beats some random person in a Toyota GT86 or Subaru BRZ up the mountain, leaving them into literal fucking shock. After somehow parallel parking, drifting her car into place, and then managed to get on time for the fucking ceremony, the auto club is just in literal shock. They're like, we need her now. So the guy tries to get her into the club and she's like, no. And then this woman comes along who has a gun and is like, join the club. And she's like, no, still. One thing that immediately stood out for me in this, when I was reading this manga, is, well, the art style. It just looks a tad bit different to what I'd usually see. But like, it's weird. I don't know how to explain it. But also, Rin looks like a character from My Hero Academia. The manga also gives us a really happy-go-lucky vibe compared to the likes of Initial D, Waga Midnight, and Overrev. It feels way more like happier than these serious stories. Even though Overrev is a little bit more on the happy side and it's more of a coming-of-age story, this one just feels happy and that's it, which is good. Anyways guys, that is the end of my list. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video, and if you have any more car manga suggestions, please leave them down in the comments section. Anyways, if you also like car manga, watch this review here of Overrev. Anyways, thank you for watching and goodbye.